Nice to have you here, as always. Today, I have a very serious topic, very interesting, very important. Why? Because it affects you, it affects me, it affects everybody around you, your dog, your cat, everything that breathes. So, what am I talking about? Well, of course, food. Food scarcity and how much we grow, what do we grow? So, where are we? Do we have enough food? Do you have enough food? Will you have enough food? Will you have your favorite food for next year? Because a lot have happened in 2022. And there is a lot of people's speculation. Up in top, politicians and people down below. So a lot of speculations, but speculation is speculation, and it's all often overall. So I like to go to statistics, and I know that statistics are not the most fun, but if you are able to pull out the information that is important for you and put it together with all other small sources, and then you can make a puzzle and get out information that is functional and relevant for you and for me. And this is what I have done, and I will talk about and give to you today. So a couple of days ago we got the EU 10-year statistics for agriculture, 15 years. So what does it say? Because I'm here in Europe, but it really doesn't matter if you are in Europe or where you are, because it's the same everywhere. It's just different, same but different. So in Europe, in EU, not the whole Europe, but EU, we have 157.4 million hectares of farmland. So, wow, that's a lot, What does it mean? It doesn't say anything. It's just a big number and we cannot understand it. We also have 447.7 million people. A lot of people, 500 million. But what does this mean? Well, when we put this together, we see that we have 3,500 square meters per person. And it's fantastic. Why is that fantastic? Well, the average for the whole world is 2,000 square meters. This is what we have. So in Europe, we have 3,500 square meters. That's it. We don't have more. Let's stop. So, do we do the best with these 3,500 square meters for us in Europe? Is it enough? So, when we got down to these small figures, the small person can understand better, because we can start to understand where are the limits, what should I do, what should I not do, how should I think. But 3,500 square meters for us, that means that there is actually 147 million people who only have 500 square meters. Is that enough? Yeah, probably not. So it also means that 2.2 billion people have 1 square meter less. So then we start, wow, Europe is a good place to be when it comes to what we can do. But do we do the right thing? And is it enough? when you see the statistics, you see, wow, we have a surplus. We earn more than many places on our agriculture. So then we can say, wow, nice. I don't have to think about this anymore because we are plus. Europe is okay. We are doing well. Yeah, we do. But is it really the real truth? Because it's surplus in money. That doesn't mean it's surplus in the amount of what we grow. Because Europe is very good to refine products. So we don't sell tomatoes. We buy tomatoes and make ketchup and sell the ketchup. We don't sell wheat. We buy wheat and we make bread and cookies and pasta and so on and sell that. We buy apple and sell juice. That means that we can earn 5, 10 times more for these commodities, yes? So when we look at where we really are in growth, what we grow, then we see that we are not much more than plus minus zeros, maybe a little bit plus, but seriously not more. So then you think, and I start to think here, well, for example, Sweden. Sweden is really bad. They only produce 50% of their own food, so they import the other 50%, mostly from EU. But Sweden is also very good at sending food aid to a lot of countries around the world. It's not our own Swedish food we sell. So is it the European food? No, we didn't have enough. So where does this food comes from? Well, we buy it from outside and then give it to other countries. That's easy to do if you don't have to grow it yourself. Take from one place, give it to another, and it's not your food. Just using money to make it happen. Is that fair? But still, we have 3,500 square meters. How much is that? It's not so easy to understand if you're not a farmer and so on. It's a half of a football field. And normally the normality was 2,000, so that's around a basketball field. This is not so much when we look at it. So how should we do to make it simpler to understand, even more simplified? Well, you go into a shopping mall. You buy a pair of jeans. It's cotton. You buy maybe 1, 2 t-shirts, something else, underpants, whatever. All of this is made of cotton. And cotton comes from a bush. And this bush had to grow somewhere. Do we grow this in Europe? No, we don't. So this take away a big space of agriculture land for food. It's because we want yields. And then you take a cup of coffee. That's a coffee plant, which need to live somewhere. And maybe you go and take a hamburger or whatever. That cow need to go and eat grass, milkshake and so on. This cow need grass. And that takes a part of this grassland and so on. And suddenly you see, wow, we have used up all our 2,000 square meters. So we really use too much. Next step is how can we change this? And why should we change this? Well, look at our agriculture. We need 3,500 square meter per person to go plus minus zero. So more than average. We also need a lot of petrol. We need a lot of fertilizer. We need a lot of poison and chemicals to our agriculture. That means that the produce we get out is really not that good. We say we have a good agriculture system in Europe, but when you think about it, if the end product is not that healthy for us, then we are not having a success. And we can definitely not feed the world and help somebody else. And then we need to spend 2 times the amount of money on medicine because we eat what we eat. So that makes it also less functional. I don't know if this information is correct or not, but I just take it as a point. Bad food is bad food. Good food is good food. Then we look even deeper. Well, these farmers cannot function by themselves. They need to have help from here. So we have a system here that subsidizes all the farmers with extra money. Why? Because it doesn't work. That means that when you go and see now that the food that you buy is more expensive than before, it actually are much more expensive than what we see, because we have also taking our tax money and putting into the system so they can grow food. So we spoon feed our farmers. The product is not healthy for us, mostly. Some are, of course, some are very good. And it only gives us plus minus in surplus. Plus minus zero. It's not so effective. So we really have to change all this. And then we come to this year, 2022, where we are now. Well, we have had some really serious catastrophes. We haven't talked so much about them because we have fully up with the war in Ukraine, which also affect everything when we see it. But that is not why food goes up in price and so on. You have just seen why food is going up in price here. We are just produced plus minus zero. So if something happens, the petrol becomes more expensive, the price goes up, and fertilizer goes up and so on. Yes, it's about the war, but it's also about the function of our agriculture system. So we have had some serious problems this year. Well, right now they're saying that there are minus 50 in the United States and Canada. What will happen with all the fruit trees in this area? We have droughts. California cannot grow nuts, walnuts, and things like that anymore. There's no water, it's too hot. In Europe we have drought this year. No water, the rivers was running dry, and so on. That affects the effectivity of the production. Look at Pakistan. Oh my God. And we will not see it this year. It's next year we will see it. So we have all these accidents. Maybe it won't happen again, but probably not. Now the worst one, China, the drought in China. And we we don't hear much about it. We don't get the information because the Communist Party is closing down everything, all the information, so we don't know much, but we know because China have bought so much food this year. It's crazy. That is why the price going up, not only war and so on. So we have cracks in the system. Yes, more and more agricultural land is destroyed by this chemistry we use and the poison that we use. And population goes up and up, not so much in Europe, but in other places. So we have some challenges, so we have to change it. So are we totally screwed or what is it? No, of course not. I'm in permaculture, so for me, I have a very clear idea what I should do, but the question is, what are you going to do? And will this affect you? All this I've been talking about, will it affect you? Yes, it will. So what are you planning? What is your plan? I'm building my food forest, so I have my plan. I will have a lot of foods and different kind of foods. So for me, it's no problem. But for many others who live and have a different lifestyle, they don't watch this video, of course. They're fully occupied with other things, but there can be a really drastic awakening for them when the price goes up. And of course, the rich people will never feel anything. They have an ecological farm where they buy all their food, whatever price. They have a private chef who make the best food for them. They pay some couple of 100,000 euros every year, and they are fine. But everybody else, maybe you, maybe me, we have to have a plan. And the plan should be start, grow something. You don't have to be expert, because everything you grow, just a small potato or a small tomato plant or a cucumber, some chili, whatever, then you start to create your own food. You support the system. You are a part of the solution, not a part of the problem. This was my little analysis. I don't know if it was scary or good or so on. I think it's rather neutral for us here in Europe, but in many other places, I think we will see some bad things next year. But we hope for the best and we plant some tomatoes. Thank you for me today.